Hello, welcome guys to AWS use cases. So today we are going for basic use case number 3. So problem statement is install MySQL on one EC2 instance and access it from another EC2 instance. So to make it clear, we will use inst1 and inst2. These will be two EC2 instances, and we will access the EC2. We will access MySQL tables in which we will install on inst1 from inst2. Okay, so let's start. So for that we will start from inst2 first. So we need two instances of EC2. So we will first create inst2 instance where we will just install MySQL, and we will access the tables of inst1 from this instance. Okay, so here we don't need any special configuration. We will just add tag to identify it. So this is inst2 we have configured. Here we are just keeping it as a default one, and we will launch it with default key pair, whichever already present. Okay, so now we can see that one of the instance is getting ready. So let's wait for some time. Let's remove the filter. Let's check. So this is the instance which is ready now. Okay, so now we will launch inst1, where we will install MySQL and will create the database, will create the table there, and we will access that it from inst2. So for inst1 we need one configuration change. So we will add tag here of name inst1. Okay, so here in this security group we need to add one inbound rule. So that inbound rule will be of type MySQL. So we are saying that anywhere, so we are the MySQL which is installed on this machine inst1 can be accessed from anywhere. So we are adding this inbound rule. So now we are launching this. Okay, so inst1 is getting launched. So till the point it is getting launched, we will go for our inst2 and we will install MySQL there, because we want to access the tables and data of MySQL which is installed on inst1. Okay, so we will connect it with EC2 instance connect. Remember that we are connecting to inst2. Okay, so here we will add sudo su. We will just so we will just install. So now we will connect to EC2. We are using EC2 inst connect. So remember that we are connecting to inst2. So we are on console sudo su. Let's update the system first to check if everything is updated. Then let's install MySQL on this. So on inst2 we will just install MySQL utility, and we will not create any database or anything. We just want to access the, that means we just want to see the entries from database which is installed on inst1. with mysql commands, of course. That's why we are installing this utility on inst2. So it is getting installed. Okay, so this is done. Now we will just enable mysql and we will start it. We are enabling it and now we are starting it. This may take a few seconds. Okay, so now MySQL is started. So we have installed MySQL on inst2. Now let's close this. So our machine from where we are going to access inst1 is ready. So let's close this and let's go to the inst1 where we are going to install MySQL and we are going to create database and tables for the access. Okay, so here we can see inst1. Let's connect to inst1. EC2 instance. Okay, so now we are connected to inst1. Let's make it sudo. Again, same, we will install MySQL on this machine. So we will first update, then we will install MySQL. Okay, so the installation completed. So this will take some time. So now we are making inst1 ready. Okay, so installation is done. Now we will enable MySQL and we will start the service mysqld. Okay, so after this we want to connect to MySQL on inst1 because we want to create the database and table and all. So for that we first need to set up a password. Okay, so it's asking for root password. So when we install it, okay, so when we install it for first time, we will get dummy password. So we can get that temporary dummy password from here. So with this we can get temporary password which we will need it while setting up the password for root. Okay, so this is temporary password. Now we will go for installation steps which will ask us for temporary password to connect. So we will provide this. Okay, so I have just right clicked it and it got pasted, and now it's asking me for new password, so I am giving the password. Okay, so it is asking me if I want to change the root password. I'm changing it also. If I want to continue with this password, yes. Do I want to remove the anonymous user? No. And this is important setting. So disallow root login remotely. So I don't want to disallow remote login because we want to connect to this remotely through EC2 from another EC2. Okay, so I will say no, I don't want to disallow. So remove test data, database and reload privilege table. I will just put it no and yes. Okay, so now we are ready with MySQL. So now we will log into MySQL on inst1. Okay, so we will create with password we have provided. Okay, so now we are in this MySQL. Now here we will create database called as dummy. So database is created. If you want to see, so it is databases. So here dummy database is created. Now we will use that database. Database is changed, and now we will create the table with the name person in that database. Okay, so person is created, and we will insert one entry into that. Okay, so now our first inst1 is ready with the database name dummy and one table with person and one entry. So now we want to access this from another instance, EC2. So to access inst1 from inst2, we have to provide permission. Okay, so we have to provide the permission for inst2. So for that we will need the internal IP of inst2. So let's go to the console. Let's go to dashboard. We will go for running dashboard, and here we can see inst2. We will open inst2, and here we can see private IP. Okay, so we will copy this private IP and we will paste it here to create the command. Okay, so we will put this command. So now from inst1 we are granting the privilege to access it on the root with this private IP. Okay, so permission is granted. So now we will go to inst2. We will close inst1 first. Now we are in inst2, and we will just connect it from EC2 inst connect. Okay, so we are inside inst2. So now we want to connect to inst1. So for inst1 we will need internal IP of inst1. Okay, so for that we will go to EC2 running instances. Okay, so we will get internal IP of inst1, and we will create the command here. So this is the command which we will use for connection to inst1. So it will ask me for password. Okay, so now we are able to connect to this. So if we go for if you remember, we haven't created any database on this inst2. So if we go for show databases, it is showing me the all the databases which are available on inst1. Okay, so if I say use dummy, and if I want to check the tables, and if I say now I know the data on person table, there is one entry with ID 1. Okay, so let's start from person. So here you can see entry is there. So we have connected to MySQL, which is installed on inst1 from inst2. So in this way we have completed our use case to install on one instance of EC2 and access it from another instance of EC2. So we have tried MySQL here. You can try any service or any software, and in this way you have to give the private IPs for the access. You can use the private IP. Okay, so we have completed the use cases. Thank you. Bye bye.